Okay, so I know Excel can seem intimidating with all the formulas and numbers and these awesome people doing great things with Excel. So today we're going to talk about 10 tips and tricks for the beginner so you can get a nice foothold on Excel. Let's get into it. Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Adrian Reddix, and let's get into some of these tips and tricks. So this video is going to have chapters, so if you know a lot about sum and average, skip to the other chapters to learn some more. So sum is what it is. It takes whatever you put in it and adds it up. So what you're going to do is go here, go equal, and you're going to do SUM, open parentheses. You'll click on the first one, comma, click on the second one, then you're going to close it out. So it's going to give you what A1 and B1 equals to. And if you want to do it for the rest of it, you can do this autofill thing. You can go to the corner right here until it turns to a plus and drag it all the way down here, and it'll auto sum or autofill it for you. Average works the same way. Instead of adding everything up, average adds everything up and divides it. It gives you your average. So it works very similar. You go to equal, type in average, open parentheses. You'll do your first cell, comma, second cell, comma, third cell, and then you close out the parentheses. Hit enter, and this is the average of the three. And then again, you can go here, then you do like you do before, take this little cross right here, drag it down, and bam, you have the average of these three cells. And that's sum and average. The next tip is going to be, how do you combine two cells together? It's a very simple formula. It's called concatenate or CONCAT. So what we're going to do is, let's do equal, CONCAT. We're going to do an open parentheses. We're going to go A1. And then we're going to hit comma. Then we're going to go to B2. And then we're going to close it. And that's how you combine things together. But if you're looking at it, you're like, hey, that is not how I want it. So if you want a space in between, like you're trying to combine a first name and a last name, what you need to do is add a little operator in there. It's going to be very easy. So let's get rid of that. We're going to type this again. So if we want to have a space in between our first name and our last name, we're going to have to do equal concat, open parentheses. Then we're going to go A1, comma, and then in there, we're going to have to add our operator. So we'll add a space, and how we add a space is with quotations. So we'll go quote, space, quote, comma. Then we're going to click B2. We're going to close it. And now you have Benjamin Banneker with a space in between. And that's how you combine a first name and a last name together with the space and without the space using CONCAT. Let's say if you have a bunch of names or anything and you want to separate these names, right? But you don't want to sit there and type everything out. Excel has this cool feature when you're doing names that you can split the names and it'll autofill for you. Let me show you how. So if I type in Benjamin Banneker, hit enter, and I start typing in, watch, when I start typing in Phyllis Wheatley, it all comes together. So now if I wanted to complete Phyllis Wheatley separate and then do every other one, only thing I have to do is hit tab. And when I hit tab, it all comes down. So that's how you can separate a name and put a space in between a name. The next tip is, let's say you want to go on a website and it has a bunch of information that you want from there. Instead of going and copying and having the format and all that, you can just copy and then directly paste the page using the URL in Excel. Let me show you how to do that. So if you go to any website, let's say this website, and I wanted this information, instead of just doing this and copying everything, what I can do is go and copy the URL, go to Excel, and then go to data. And once you're in data, go to from web. Then you paste the URL here, hit OK. And now it's going to do what it does. And then you go to your table, right? And then you can hit load, and it'll load all the information onto the table. And now it puts it up there neatly, all the information you need, and you can go ahead and tease out what you need, delete what you don't have to have. And this is it. It's a very easy way of getting data from the web into Excel without having to do all that highlight and copy and paste. The next tip is how to change the color scheme. I know that a lot of people don't like light mode when it comes to different applications. I happen to not be one of those people. I love light mode, but a lot of people don't. So how do you change light mode or regular color scheme into a dark mode? Let me show you how to do that. If you go to File and go to Options, so you go down to personalize your copy of Microsoft Office. Right here where it says Office Theme, hit the drop down and you can hit black. And when you hit black, hit OK. Now you have dark mode. What's good about this, if you go to, let's say, Microsoft Word or PowerPoint, so if you change it on one program, it's going to be the same on the whole Office suite. You don't have to go and keep changing each program you go into. So once you change it in one, the effect is on the whole suite and not just one particular program. The next tip is, let's say if you want to try to practice, but you don't want to sit there and type out all these numbers or whatever. There is a function that can type out a bunch of numbers for you, and it's called RANDBETWEEN. So let's do that. So you can go to the cell and type in equals RANDB, and you see it populate between open parentheses. The first number is going to be the absolute bottom that the number can go to, and the next number is going to be the absolute top it can go to. So let's do 8 characters, right? So I want to do, then we're going to go comma, and then we'll do the upper limits of that. It's going to be 999999999. Close that parentheses, hit enter. It's going to be a random number. That's good. So let's say I need 10, let's do 20 values. Now I have random numbers, but if you just looked, the numbers always change depending on what you're doing with that. So each time that the Excel program has to do something, let's see, and I hit enter or go down to the next cell, it changes the numbers. And then I want to have 2 rows of numbers so I can practice stuff like average and stuff. But it can get frustrating with the numbers constantly changing. So how do you take these random numbers and make them permanent? Tell you what you do. You're going to go here, copy these numbers, copy. And when you go to paste the numbers, you don't want to paste the actual copy. What you want to paste is the value. So you go to the next one where it says values. So these values are locked in. So each time, let's say if I do something else, you'll see that these values stay the same and our original set of numbers are constantly changing. So now I can go in and now I can have a set of numbers to practice with. So I can do my equals, I do my sum, right? So sum and do this and not have to worry about the numbers constantly changing, right? So these numbers are still changing. Watch, they're going to change again. These numbers have not changed yet. And now that's how you can practice your formulas in here without having to type in a whole bunch of random numbers. So the next tip is going to be, let's say your boss comes in and says, hey, I want to have the last 4 numbers of every account on here. I want you to hand type it and have it turned in. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to do that. So they have a function called write. So what write does, it counts from the right of the cell, however many spaces you tells it, and puts it on the box. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if we go equal right, open parentheses, we're going to click on the cell, comma, and then how many characters from the right we want to do. Let's say 4. Then we're going to close it out, hit enter. And now, as you can see, the last 4 are there. And to autofill, you just go ahead and pull it down. And now I have the last 4 of all the account numbers. But let's say your boss comes in and you're like, oh, I want the beginning 4 also. Well, tell you what we do. We're going to use the left function or the left formula. We're going to equals left, open parentheses, go back to your account number, hit the account number or hit the cell that has the account number in it, comma, and we're going to do 4 on that one, right? Hit enter. And now we have the first four of this one. And just like before, you just pull it down and it'll auto fill and do that calculation for you. And that's an easy way to pull data. It doesn't work. It doesn't have to be just numbers. You can do this with words or things like that. It just gives you a simple way of pulling information that so you don't have to spend time typing over and over again, right? All right. The next thing is, let's say you have to calculate a whole bunch of things. Like I have to calculate January's revenue and all the expenses that happen in January, February, March of the first sales quarter. What you would traditionally do is do equal, sum, open your parentheses, and then you would do this, that, and then you would do your last one, and then you would close it. And then you'll have what that equals to. Then you pull that down to here. You'll pull that down and it does that, right? Then you have to do the total going this way. Let me show you an easier way to do that. So what you want to do is press down your control button and then highlight this area. Then move on to the next one. Hold down control again, highlight the same area, go again to the third one and then highlight the same area. Instead of going through and doing all the formulas, what you can do is hit Alt equal and it does it all for you. You don't have to go through and manually type everything out. Just highlight everything, hit Alt equal, and it does all the calculations for you. I think it'll save you a ton of time when you have a bunch of data sets that needs to be calculated quickly. So let's say you wanted to organize this into alphabetical order. What I see a lot of people do is they'll highlight the first one. I want it to be alphabetized by somebody's first name. So what they'll do is do that. Then I'll go to sort and filter and then do sort by A to Z. It gives you a warning, that you have to expand the section, because what you could do, let's say if that warning didn't pop up and I hit sort, you see it just sorted this first column, right? And all this information is wrong now. We know that there was nobody, at least I know of, name of Kathy Turner or Buck Truth, right? So let's go back. You want to go over here to the corner, select everything, and then go to sort, and you want to do like a custom sort, right? And I want to sort A to Z by first name. Hit OK. So now all these things are still the same, that all the information is still correct, and it's sorted by first name. So when you alphabetize a sheet, what you need to do is make sure everything's selected and then sort, and you can filter by, if I wanted to do the same thing, sort, do a custom sort, and I wanted to do it by account number from smallest to largest, I could do that too. Bam. And it's all the records are still the same. They're just sorted by a different sort. So make sure you select everything before you sort anything. And the last thing is, I think it's going to be a very important formula, and it's going to be COUNTIF. COUNTIF is very important. Let's say if you want to count how many people lived in New Jersey. So what you would do is type in equal count if. So you're going to click on the range. So I want to see who lives in New Jersey. So I'm going to go over here to state and then do the whole range, right? Then I'm going to hit comma and then the criteria. So putting things in quotes in this instance makes the formula look for that one thing. So if I'm looking for New Jersey, so what I need to do is double quotes, NJ or NJ, and then we're going to close it, the double quotes, and then we're going to close the parentheses, and I hit enter. There are 4 people living in New Jersey. Let's say I want to do something else. Let's say I wanted to know equal count if. Let's say I wanted to know everybody who lived in New Orleans, right? So I go here. I got my range. So I'm going to hit comma. In quotes, I want to hit that. Then I'm going to go New, not typing well today, Orleans. I'm going to close that double quote. And then I'm going to close the parentheses And it's going to tell me that I have one person who lives in New Orleans. And I think COUNTIF can be a very useful tool if you want to know how much of something you have. So how often do you use Excel? Do you do anything special with it? What are some formulas that you think people should know? Let me know in the comment section. If you guys like videos like this, check out the video where I compared Microsoft Office versus LibreOffice. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one.